Whis trains Gohan to master the full power of his new beast form, and during the training, we are shown a little more about the Angel's own training, just as we saw with Whis in the Galactic Patrol. We get more information. What will Gohan's new power be? Could his limiter finally break for good now? Stay until the end. Hurry and subscribe to the channel, leave your like and activate the notification bell. Dragon Ball has always been marked by surpassing limits. In every battle, every challenge, it seemed impossible for the warriors to reach new heights, and yet, repeatedly, they broke the barriers of the impossible. Among them all, Goku was always the face of this relentless climb, but over time, it became clear that the Saiyan potential was not limited to him alone. Gohan, the firstborn son, was the greatest proof of that. Since childhood, he demonstrated a latent power so intense that even the angels and gods watched him with a mixture of fascination and curiosity. When years later, he awakened the beast form, showing that his power did not depend on following the same paths as his father, the universe understood that something was changing, and no one more than Whis, the angel guide of Beerus, would be capable of understanding the dimension of this transformation and shaping it. Whis always observed the Saiyans with an almost divine calmness. He was never swayed by emotional explosions, nor the pride-fueled disputes Goku and Vegeta waged between themselves. His gaze was distant, yet never inattentive. He noticed every detail, every subtlety in the way the warriors evolved, and for that reason, he saw in Gohan a raw gem that had not yet been polished. For Whis, the beast form was not just another transformation in the long list of Saiyan powers, but rather a calling to something much greater, something that could even reshape the role of the Saiyan race in the universal balance. Gohan, unlike Goku and Vegeta, always walked a path marked by the dilemma between fighting and living in peace. He didn't possess the same battle instinct as his father, nor the same obsession for surpassing limits as his mentor Vegeta. His heart was shaped by compassion, empathy, and an analytical intelligence that distanced him from the traditional warrior profile. But precisely because of that, when his fury was awakened, his power exploded in immeasurable proportions. Whis understood that the beast form was the supreme manifestation of this duality, the serenity of someone who seeks to protect, combined with the ancestral savagery of a Saiyan pushed to the extreme. To train someone like this, Whis knew he could not use the same methods he applied to Goku and Vegeta. He could not simply push Gohan into meaningless combat, nor expect that Goku's son would seek answers in constant battle repetition. Gohan's training required another path. It was necessary to understand his essence, his connection between intellect and instinct, and turn that into a harmonious weapon. And this is where Whis' nature as an angel stands out. An angel is not just a regular trainer. They are entities created to guide the gods of destruction, but their wisdom goes far beyond combat. Whis had full mastery over time, could rewind events in an instant, could manipulate space, and see the future in probabilities. More than that, he carried the knowledge of eras, of techniques forgotten even by the oldest mortals. When he accepted to train Gohan, it was not by chance. Whis saw in him the opportunity to awaken something that not even Goku, with all his potential, had achieved, the perfect fusion between humanity and instinct. If Whis really were to train Gohan right now, it would be something like this, in which Whis himself makes sure to place Gohan in situations that challenged his mind as much as his body. He will force him to think like an angel, to anticipate movements before they even exist, to find serenity in chaos. Whis knew that Ultra Instinct, mastered by Goku, was a technique that required complete emptiness of mind, absolute trust in the body. Gohan's beast form was the opposite. It was the explosion of raw instinct, without filters, a power fueled by emotion. Reconciling these two approaches seemed impossible, but Whis believed that it was precisely this fusion that could take Gohan to a level beyond all the others. When Goku and Gohan faced each other, for example, what was at stake was not just a father versus son fight, but two completely different paths of evolution. Goku accessed Ultra Instinct, a technique that put him in a state of absolute calm, where each movement of the body was automatic and required no thought or emotion. It was a divine form, refined based on the absence of impulses to achieve perfection. On the other hand, Gohan let his beast form explode with all its power, a transformation fueled by the wildest instinct, by the fury that had always been inside him, but now molded consciously.
At the beginning of the fight, Goku moved with an impossible lightness to follow. Ultra Instinct made every dodge seem inevitable, every attack seem calculated by nature itself. Gohan, in contrast, launched blows filled with brutality, trying to break through his father's defense. During the first moments, it seemed Goku was in total control, dodging effortlessly, blocking without even needing to look. But little by little, Gohan began to break the rhythm. His beast form did not follow logic, nor repeat patterns. He attacked guided by instinct, by heart, by emotion. His movements had no rationality, and it was precisely this that confused Ultra Instinct. Goku's body reacted automatically, but Gohan's unpredictability made those reflexes begin to fail. Each beast strike was too heavy, too intense, and it came not only from physical technique, but from an emotional power that Ultra Instinct, being neutral and empty, could not keep up with. The fight began to turn, and Goku, for the first time since mastering the form, found himself being hit directly. In the decisive moment, Gohan grabbed Goku's fist and paralyzed him with his brute strength. Looking into his father's silver eyes, he said that Ultra Instinct was cold, that it ignored the heart, while he fought guided by real emotions, by the desire to protect, by rage and hope. Then he launched a direct attack filled with beast energy, which pierced through the Ultra Instinct defense and brought Goku down. In the end, gasping, Gohan made it clear what differentiated his path from his father's. He said that he had raised his power to the maximum without losing control, that the beast form was proof that he could use all his fury without being consumed by it. And he added that this was why he could never master Ultra Instinct, because that technique required completely emptying oneself and fighting without emotion, while he needed constantly to fight against himself to avoid losing control. His strength came precisely from that fragile balance, from that internal battle that kept him conscious amid the savagery. Whis, who watched from afar, immediately understood the depth of those words. Ultra Instinct and Beast were not forms meant to overlap, but two different paths that revealed the infinite possibilities of Saiyan evolution. Goku will reach the divine through neutrality, while Gohan reaches the impossible through the mastery of chaos. And in this contrast, both showed that there was still much to be discovered about how far a mortal could go. In this process, Whis could not only show Gohan combat techniques, but also reveal secrets about the very nature of angels and gods. He explained how Beerus did not destroy just for pleasure, but out of duty, as part of a universal balance. He also explained that angels, although guides, had their own limits. They could not intervene directly in destinies, but they could open doors, plant ideas, shape paths. For Gohan, hearing this was a shock. He had always believed that gods and angels were untouchable, unreachable beings, but upon realizing that even they had restrictions, he began to see his own power with new eyes. Whis could also and should reveal more about his masters, about how not even an angel is born perfect. There is an entire hierarchy where the grand priests are responsible for polishing and training each angel, passing on techniques and knowledge that span eras. Upon hearing this, Gohan understood that even the most perfect being only became great because he was trained and guided. It was a powerful reminder. He didn't need to compare himself to Goku, nor carry the weight of surpassing Vegeta. His path would be unique, shaped by who he was and by the unexplored potential of his beast form. The most impressive thing was how Whis managed to provoke this growth without ever imposing himself. His way of teaching was almost playful, full of smiles and subtle comments that seemed harmless but carried deep teachings. He knew that Gohan needed to free himself from his father's shadow, that he needed to believe that his beast form was not just an uncontrolled mutation, but a new key to the future of the Saiyans. Over time, Whis also showed Gohan the value of synergy with Goku. He said that although the father had mastered Ultra Instinct, there was still flaws. There was still a space that could only be filled by someone who followed a different path. Together, Goku and Gohan could form a perfect duality, the divine instinct and the wild instinct, two faces of the same power that could rival even the gods themselves. Vegeta, with his pursuit of Ultra Ego, completed this triad, and Whis watched with satisfaction as destiny wove something that not even the Xenos could predict. In this gasping moment, Gohan began to understand that his beast form was not an aberration, but the true manifestation of his potential. He remembered Piccolo's words of how he had always been seen as someone destined to surpass limits, and now, with Whis as his guide, he finally saw that destiny taking shape. Beast was not just fury, it was the balance between reason and emotion, between humanity and Saiyan instinct.
In the end, what Whis can do for Gohan is not just refine his strength, but free his essence. He will show that a Saiyan's power is not limited to following patterns, that he did not need to walk the same paths as Goku to achieve greatness. Each warrior had his own truth, and Gohan's was the beast form. Under the eyes of an angel, that power ceased to be an uncontrolled explosion and became a conscious weapon, a beacon for the future.
And perhaps deep down, that was exactly what the angels had always sought. Not just to train warriors, but to inspire them to transcend the limits of the possible. Because if even an angel had masters, nothing would stop Gohan from becoming, one day, someone capable of guiding the very destiny of the universe. Also remembering that Gohan's first contact with a deity that marked his evolution was with the East Supreme Kai, Shin, during the Majin Buu saga in Dragon Ball Z. Until then, Gohan had already shown absurd power in his childhood against Raditz, Nappa, and especially in the fight against Cell, but after that, he entered a more peaceful phase, studying, not training as much as Goku and Vegeta. When Shin appears on Earth to warn about the threat of Babidi and Majin Buu, Gohan is one of the first to realize that this being was different from anything he had seen before. He and the others discover that he was not just another powerful warrior, but a Supreme Kai, a deity superior even to the Kaios they already knew. That encounter made it clear that there were levels above everything Earth's warriors had understood until then. The decisive connection came soon after, when Gohan was taken to the Sacred World, where he met the Elder Supreme Kai, Ro Kaioshin. He was the one who performed the ritual that unlocked Gohan's dormant potential, turning him into the so-called Mystic Gohan, or Ultimate Gohan. It became clear that Gohan had something different. He was not simply acquiring a new transformation like the other Saiyans, but awakening a latent force that had been within him from the beginning. This process already showed that Gohan's destiny would be special. While Goku needed to reach divine forms by training with Whis and Beerus long after, Gohan had his own route, directly tied to gods who worked with dormant and spiritual potential, not just physical. The Elder Kai's ritual basically said, you already have all this power, you just need it to be released. So yes, even back then we already knew that Gohan was something more. He didn't depend on becoming Super Saiyan 3, 4, or 5. His path was different, more tied to inner awakening than the classic transformation. That's why when in the present he reaches the beast form, it becomes clear that it is the natural evolution of that same concept introduced back then. Gohan does not need to follow the logic of his father or Vegeta. He always had a unique essence, revealed for the first time precisely through contact with the gods who saw in him above average potential.